This video will show you how to find the equation of a line that is graphed. Sometimes students ask me, how do you do the problems on the homework when you do not have an integer y-intercept? In the homework, you can always find 2 points that have integer values for both the x's and the y's. You just have to look carefully. On this problem, you can see that the points 3, 3 and negative 1, 1 are both on the graph of this line. I'm going to use those to find slope. So I'm finding the change in y. So I'm taking 3 minus 1, and I'm going to divide that by the change in the x's. So that's 3 minus negative 1. That gives me 2 over 4, which is 1/2. So that's the slope that we're working with. Now it doesn't matter, it never matters what point you choose on a line for x1, y1, because all of the points on the line make the equation true. So pick whichever point you want. I'm going to pick the 3, 3, only because they're both positive numbers and that you're less likely to make a mistake with positive numbers. And I'm going to plug into the point slope formula. So y minus 3 is equal to 1/2 times x minus 3, and then you want to write that in slope intercept form. And so I'm going to distribute. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 times x minus 3/2, and then adding 3 to both sides, we get y equals 1/2 x plus 3/2. Now if you don't know how to add negative 3/2 and 3, then you need to find videos on how to add fractions, add and subtract fractions, or just use the fraction key on your calculator. Now you do have another option. You can always plug into y equals mx plus b if you have 1 point and you know the slope. Then you can figure out what the y-intercept is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that point 3, 3 again and plug in 3 for y, 1/2 for the slope, and 3 for x. And then the only unknown in the equation now is the b value. I get 3 equals 3/2 plus b, and then subtracting 3/2 from both sides, 3 minus 3/2 is 3/2. And then you need to remember to plug back in, because you're supposed to give the equation of the line. So you have to plug back in and say that y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3/2, now that we know the m and the b values. And we want to leave x and y variable when we give the equation of a line.